Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing book reviews on The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman and The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman follows Tom Sherborne, a lighthouse keeper, and his wife Isabel as they live off the coast of Western Australia. After years of miscarriages, the couple thinks a baby will never be in their life until one day a rowboat washes up on shore with a dead body and a crying baby. Tom wants to report this incident, but Isabel thinks this baby is a gift from God. Little do the two of them know the ramifications that will follow and the devastation that they have caused. Whew, geez, you guys. The Light Between Oceans. This is a sad story. Hopefully that doesn't really spoil much of anything. I think me just saying sad doesn't say much, really. I mean, just from start to finish, okay? From start to finish, this book is just so sad, so harrowing, but so freaking good. This is definitely a book that sticks with you long after you put it down. But yeah, overall, a beautifully told story, a beautifully written novel by M.L. Stedman. M.L. Stedman, there's just this wonderful simplicity to how she writes. She doesn't get flowery or over descriptive, nothing fancy, just really down to earth writing, I think. Very real and genuine. The one thing that might be a tad bit frustrating with this novel is the fact that the novel is kind of slow going. It's kind of a slow burn in some ways. It takes quite a while for the story to actually really get going. You get introduced to the main characters first, you get introduced to their backgrounds, you get introduced to their inner demons and stuff that's kind of just going on within their heads. So yeah, it takes a while to get going, and what you have very, very early on, I noticed, you have a lot of themes being set up. You got a lot of imagery and symbolism being set up, and you do kind of have to read a bit slower at the start to kind of pick up all of that imagery and symbolism, because they definitely really come through by the end, and just a lot of the story, it's really beautiful once you think about it, once you think about the themes and imagery and symbolism. It all just comes together in such a beautiful, remarkable way that makes the story even more gripping and powerful, I think, once you sit and think about it. So yeah, like I said, this book made me kind of sad, but sad in a good way. Let's get that straight. Sad in a good way. There's something about this book that is very bittersweet. I think that's the best way to say it. Bittersweet. This novel is ultimately about love and loss and life and death, and you have this lighthouse representing all of those themes quite beautifully. Something else that I really liked about this book, it takes place after World War I. But the thing is, World War I has such an impact on what's going on in this story, not only for the lives of the main characters, but even just other minor characters. The war is very pivotal in some ways, pivotal in explaining what life in Australia was like, what life for some of these characters is like, what's going on inside their heads. So yeah, even though the war has been over for quite a number of years, we have characters like Tom Sherborne, who's the main character. He lived through the First World War. It still kind of traumatized him even to this day. But the thing is, that war shapes the very essence and core of his character. Tom is very loyal. He likes to get things done in a timely manner. And yeah, when this baby washes up on shore and his wife is pleading with him, can we keep this baby? You know, that really conflicts with Tom as a human being. It conflicts with his moral responsibilities, because of course Tom is like, I think we should, you know, find this baby's parents, you know. So yeah, I love how that plays into the story. And then the war even plays quite heavily into his wife's story, Isabel, because not only has Isabel had several miscarriages early on in the story before the baby does wash up on shore. Isabel also, her two brothers were in the war, so she has that weighing quite heavily on her. So yeah, like I said, the novel deals so much with life and death, with the war being this lingering thing in the background that still haunts all the characters in this book, and kind of explains their actions for a lot of things they do, weirdly enough. And I have mentioned briefly some of the characters, but just to talk about the characters overall, oh my goodness, you guys, don't be surprised if you get into this book and you realize you can't stand any of these people. This is the thing you need to know about the characters. The characters are quite irritating and frustrating for the most part. Not just Tom and Isabel, but everybody. Everybody has their very annoying quirks. And the thing is, though, I kind of like that. I kind of liked that I didn't particularly like anybody. You know, it's like I liked them in a way, but in another way I didn't like them. But I liked them because they were so believable, you know, the fact that they were so unlikable, and the fact that they made silly, stupid mistakes. That's what I think really connects the reader to these characters more than anything, because you can connect to them on a deep personal level. You can understand the mistakes they're making. So yeah, that's it for this review on The Light Between Oceans. I highly recommend it. I wish I could talk about it in more depth. There's so many spoilers, though. I mean, all you need to know is that a baby washes up on shore and this couple, they're faced with a dilemma. That's all you need to know going into this book. So yeah, have you guys read The Light Between Oceans? What did you think? What were your feelings? Just let me know down below. So let's move on to The Girl on the Train. The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins follows Rachel Watson, who takes the commuter train to London every morning and evening. And every day when the train makes a stop, Rachel is able to watch a suburban couple sitting on their deck. Rachel doesn't know the couple, but she makes up a story for them, makes up a fantasy of what their life is like, and even calls them Jess and Jason. But one day, Rachel witnesses something out of the ordinary, realizing that this couple isn't as perfect as she has always imagined. Rachel is consumed by what she has seen, even going to the police to tell her story, but in doing so, she upsets the balance of everyone involved. Can Rachel's story be trusted, or is her story a product of her overproductive imagination? So let's get this out of the way. This book has been often compared to Gillian Flynn's Gone Girl, and I think that's a fitting comparison. I think the two books definitely share similar sort of themes going on. They don't have the same exact story. Let's get that out of the way too. They don't have the exact same story, but similar sort of concepts, I will say. Exploring things like truth and lies and the human condition, essentially. And what The Girl on the Train also shares with Gone Girl is this whole notion of an unreliable narrator. I love unreliable narrators, you guys, because you don't know what to believe or disbelieve, you know, and you certainly, you're questioning every little thing that goes on in this book. So just to get into some of my thoughts, there's a certain monotony to this novel, you guys. The novel does take a little while to get going, takes a little while for you to kind of start processing some things, you know, just trying to tie in how things are going to eventually connect with one another. So yeah, there's a certain monotony that kind of draws you further and further into the novel in a weird way, because the main character, Rachel Watson, she gets on and off the train every single day. So yeah, at the start of this novel, you're thinking, okay, where is this novel going to go? Because Paula Hawkins spends quite a while getting you into that monotony of Rachel's life and her daily existence, getting on and off this train every single day. So it does take a while for the big mystery to finally evolve, but when it does, I think it comes at just the right, perfect moment in the story. So just to talk about the character Rachel herself, who we spend the majority of this novel with. Rachel, she's in her early 30s, she's an ex-wife, and she's also an alcoholic. And the thing is, that's not all. There is so many layers to Rachel's character, and Paula Hawkins does a great job of spreading out all of that information over the course of the entire novel. You get bits of Rachel's story, kind of just every now and then. And once you do get all of the pieces, you get this really good idea of who Rachel is as a character. And like I said, Rachel is an alcoholic, and she has a history of blacking out and losing a lot of memory. So of course, this is where the whole idea of an unreliable narrator comes in. This is what really makes the story fascinating to read. And Rachel's not a particularly likable character at all. You kind of grow really annoyed with her. You grow frustrated with her. Rachel is very clingy and needy. She just has a lot of really negative character traits, but also very, very human character traits at the same time. And even though she does have an enormous amount of negative character traits, there is still some degree of sympathizing with her as you do get more and more of her backstory. And very much like how I was talking about The Light Between Oceans, The Girl on the Train is also another one of those slow burn reading experiences. You just gotta go with it, you gotta take it all in, but once you do get all of the important information, yeah, this book is incredibly hard to put down, just such a page turner. And I'm not gonna lie, it can be a little bit frustrating waiting for all of those connecting dots to piece together, you know, in regards to what the overall mystery is. But what I like about a good mystery is the fact that you as the reader, you gotta figure out what the important clues are, what the important details are, and more importantly, like any good mystery, you gotta figure out what the red herrings are. And I think Paula Hawkins does a great job with one red herring in particular. Because there's this one red herring that really was throwing me off, and I kept trying to squeeze it in somehow into the story. So yeah, Paula Hawkins does a great job with this one particular red herring, if you know what I mean. And the thing is, once you do figure out what the red herring is, you can kind of figure out the rest of the book. So yeah, overall, I really love this book, a really fascinating mystery, some intriguing characters. The book isn't really anything new or original, I have to say. Don't go into this book expecting something wild and crazy and different. I think Gone Girl definitely already beat this book to that. But still, Paula Hawkins, she crafts such a meticulous story. It's so hard to put down. And just the overall way Paula Hawkins kind of writes it, that's kind of what makes it new and refreshing in its own way, I suppose. So yeah, that's it for this review on The Girl on the Train. Have you guys read this book? What did you think? If you want to talk about spoilers, feel free to. So that's it for these reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.